you guys have the weird toilet paper thing that America had?
We did. We didn't have the gasoline. I saw the gasoline in the States, in Texas, I think it was.
Yeah, it was on the East Coast. You know what? That was a whole train wreck, but I feel like that was fixed. I also don't watch the news. Fair. It's depressing. People
Yep.
are all, it's just, the visceral response that I get watching the news, because it's never like happy, any of it. Everyone's always fighting, arguing, and someone's dying. And I'm like, and it's not in a good, like, soap opera way. It's in a very serious way. And I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah, there's no Stefano, there's no Days of Our Lives, there's no, what's the other one? Young and the Restless, As the World Turns. We are so old, everyone. It is
Oh
ridiculous.
my god. When I first got hurt, and you're on bed rest, like I had free weights and I would do like arm workouts while I'm on bed rest, healing from this, but I watch Days of Our Lives every freaking day.
It's still on TV.
I'd have no idea. I would assume so. And I think that the actors who were on there have been on there since the inception, like, of the show.
I remember when I watched it, Austin, is he still there? Austin, Sammy, they were teenagers,
They're probably like
but
the grown men on it.
they're probably older than us. Imagine that. Imagine that for a minute. Like we grew up watching people that's probably older than us. I just found out who was it the other day. Um, what's her name? Felicia Rashard from the Cosby Show. She's
Yeah.
almost 80.
What?
80.
No, she's
She's
not. She's got to be in her 50s.
almost 80.
She's frozen in my mind at 50.
Yeah. And
Her 40s. She was probably in her 40s when she did the show, right?
was it almost 40 years ago?
No, I don't know.
I don't know. It was an 80s show, so it probably was, right? I think when we watched it, I think it was in reruns or at the end of it.
Right.
Because that's
Right.
along Jefferson, All in the Family, I Dream of Junior. That's all that 70s, 80s, right? So think how
Yeah.
much time has passed, and here we are. Like,
How old is Lisa Bonet now? She was on the
oh,
Cosby.
she was, but they were kids though, right? Like their parents are old. But look at Bill Cosby, who's in jail now. Look how old he is, and he was
She
probably.
made some poor decisions. It's unfortunate, truly.
It is, especially during that time. It seems like that's all that it was, poor decisions, right? Reminds me of the movie Wolf of Wall Street, where they show the scene where they're just doing cocaine and drugs off of hookers' backs, and these guys are they're like condoms. What's condoms? Like no one even knew what that was, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It very is reminiscent of that. Hold on. Now I'm thinking, how old is Lisa Bonet? She's got to be in her mid 40s, I would think.
Let's take a look. I have my phone here.
We're
Don't
gonna
mind if I'm still
Google it.
paying attention to my lovely guest Lisa here.
No, you're good.
But
Like, we're curious.
Lisa Bonet, she is 53.
No, get
That's
out.
right. And let's see, Felicia. It's funny. As soon as I typed in Felicia Rashad, it came up right after.
Yeah.
She is 72.
Oh, I'm not here for that.
Yeah. And
Dang.
you need to see pictures of Felicia Rashad. She looks like she's still in her 40s.
I'm sure that she does.
I
Dang.
seen her in a movie just a few years ago, and I was like, wow, good for her. And Tina
Good.
Turner's even older.
Tina Turner still looks at those legs. Oh my goodness.
Dancer's
She
legs,
still
right?
looks, oh yeah, for sure. For sure. She still looks amazing. I'm trying to think of who else. Jane Fonda still looks amazing too.
Jane Fonda will always look amazing. She looks
Jane
better than her daughter. And we talked about that the first time, right? No, that's pretty bad that because it's not supposed to be that way, right?
The aging with grace or whatever it is. I don't even know. Yeah, she's got some good doctors, but I'm here for it. Like, live your best life.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We can't
I'm
I
not.
wanna in 40 years, if I can look like I look now,
Yeah.
God is good.
I mean, that's going to happen. Medical technology is advancing rapidly, so I feel like we're going to be fine.
Oh yeah. But it's funny, like, but we can look better as we age. We just can't live longer.
Right.
That's odd, right? Like we age better. It seems like we age, but we look better as we age, but we don't live necessarily longer. Gone are the years of hundreds of years, right? We're men die what 80 something, women a few years after that.
Yeah. Yeah. That on that age thing, I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast and he was talking about, I don't even remember, something with America. And he was like, you got to figure like we need to kind of back off of ourselves, like as a country with where we're at and where we're going. And because we're still a really young country. And he goes, because think about it. If like the average person lives to be like 80 to 100 years old, we're only three people old.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, oh dang, he's totally right. That's yeah.
If you
How
look at it
soon?
like that, yeah, how many generations before us? It was a generation you can measure it, what, every 50, 60 years. So not that many,
Not that many,
not even 20.
right?
As like a civilization, granted the earth and the dirt has been there for however long, but as a society, and Canada's even younger,
Yes.
probably, right?
Yeah. So maybe we need to like cut ourselves some slack and know that we'll just get there. Like we'll get there. We're taking the steps to get there.
Yeah, I remember a conversation I had with someone. He was kind of eavesdropping as I was having breakfast with my friends at the restaurant. But he joined the conversation and I asked him, I was like, we're still in our infancy if you think about it, from a religious standpoint, from a culture, from a people. Like it wasn't that many generations ago where someone that looked like me, looked like you, would even be having this conversation.
Exactly.
Right. And here we are having it and so much more when it comes to the diversity of the interaction between people. So I think sometimes we need to give ourselves a lot more credit from
Right.
overcoming what has happened. And yes, we still have so many ways to go, but we're having the time of our life.
Right. But when you think about like how far you've progressed in such a short period of time, if you can look at it from that, like how much you've done in a short period of time, then the possibilities are endless. So maybe what we should be doing is not being so critical and coming at things more from the perspective of like, if we can do all of that, then we can do even more. Because you can sit there and have that conversation with him without fear of retribution either. Like not fear of getting in trouble or any of these sorts of things. That's a huge thing.
I agree. And even if I put it on myself as the individual, if I go from when I actually put everything in motion to do this podcast from May of last year to my very first guest, September, and to the conversation I'm having, it hasn't been a year, but now I have the background, I have the logo, I have the merchandise, I have all this. So as you mentioned, we need to take some value, a lot of value in the progress because we've come a long way in a short period of time, and there's so much more that we're going to accomplish because we have so much more time to do so.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at this seamless transition. That's what I tell my clients all the time. We get so critical of ourselves, and in every regard, we can be so negative, and that self talk can be so negative that we forget to celebrate all the other things that we've done. And what the first business coach I ever had, um, she, I don't remember what she was coaching me on in the particular session, but she's like, you got to stop this like negative voice stuff. You need to go and write 100 things that you've done. And when she said it, it was like extremely daunting in my mind. But then when I started thinking about it, I was like, I've probably done 100 things today. I mean, I did the list, I wrote it out, I did my homework because I'm a good student, determined to be a good student. But when you think about it, it was like, yeah, I really have done a lot. And then we let these like little things get us down or own us or, make us think that we can't do the impossible when really we can. It's just wherever your head's at.
Absolutely, absolutely. So how is your interaction with your clients since we last spoke? Like how's that going for you?
It's been going really well. I'm like, how's 2021 been for you? Catch up. I have coffee over here. I give them a lot of credit. You know, like you guys have experienced up in Canada and where we're at in California, it's just, it's been weird. I'm not going to say it's uncharted. I'm not going to say it's unprecedented. I think those words are played out at this point. It's weird. And I'm very proud of them because regardless of the weirdness and the feelings that it's brought up, which I think it's brought up for everyone, they've continued to show up. I think when we talked last, I was telling you about how we were doing like live Zoom workouts.
Yes. Yep.
Still going. It's been over a year. Still going. That went international um, because I record them. So, you know, you don't have to jump in live. You can come in after the fact and work out. And you get me in like my fullest instructor form. And I'm doing the workout with you. So it's not serious. The workout is serious. I am not serious. Um, I I've been very grateful that I've had a platform to be able to continue to serve and help people because I feel like now more than ever we need it. And now what's happening is we're moving into this transition of, in California at least, the state will completely open up June 15th. So we're like on the precipice of kind, I don't want to say normal because it's not going to be, but something along those lines. Uh, and a lot of people now are like, well, I've been working out at home for a year. Like, what do I do when I go back to work? You know, they've made all this progress over the past year. They don't want to lose it, but they don't know how to implement that back into daily life as it typically is. Because it's not like you can, you know, do what I did this morning and go and work out and then roll into a Zoom meeting sweaty, but you're not here with me, so it's okay.
I just see from the shoulders up, right?
Right. So it's a lot of discussion in terms of that now. And a lot of what that's bringing up too is people's comfort level, whether or not they feel comfortable going back into a gym setting, which everyone is entitled to their own feelings and opinions with it. And you truly have to do what's the best for you. But I want to be able to continue to serve them regardless of that and give them a place regardless of that. I don't want them to give up on their health because they feel like they have no other option and they're not comfortable with the option that they're being given.
Are you going to maintain both? And the reason why I ask that is you're right. There's going to be people who is not going to be comfortable. And my argument is always going to be it is not going to be like 2019 where everyone is running to hug each other, where you can shake each other's hand, where you're even comfortable, some people, because I've seen this, walking in opposite directions on the sidewalk. People still cross the streets now, even if they're fully vaccinated or wearing a mask. But you still want that avenue. You still want to say to the people, if you're not comfortable, here you are. I'm still going to do this. Not Jane Fonda, not leotards, but it's still active. You get me as silly as I am, as sweaty as I am, but you're going to bust your butt and you're going to work hard. And if you want the in-person, come see me in person because nothing beats doing it side by side with someone. Do you feel that you're able to do both, or do you think you're going to lose some people here and some people there?
I'm not sure. I would imagine that I would lose some people. Some people really like that in-person group instruction environment, so they might transfer back into the brick and mortar. So I might lose them from one and gain them in another, if you know that makes sense. I told the girls who have been doing the Zoom workouts with me, I will continue to do them until they feel like they are the workouts are of no use to them. A lot of them, quite frankly, really like it because they don't have to factor in like commute time and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And they still know that they're going to get a really good workout in. I mean, we've changed the times on that workout. We've changed the days on that workout and they continue to show up. But even then it's like, I constantly am reminding them, look at what you've done. Look at the progress that you've made over the past year. Emotions, all that stuff aside, like that's not what we're talking about. You continue to show up for yourself because at some point excuses are the limits that you're putting on yourself, and it's up to you whether or not you're going to let those excuses go. And they have let them go and shown up. I mean, that to me is tremendous. So if they want it, I'll keep going. If there's people in the class, I'll keep going. I am doing both right now. I'm training out of a brick and mortar and I'm still doing the Zoom classes.
But you have the dedication for it, right? Like you have the recipe, I guess, or the formula to do both, and you had the story that's going to support that. So I
Yeah.
think they're always going to come as long as you're there and you're providing that service. Do you see or do you foresee any hesitation after June 15th? Because for you, it should just be status quo, just going to continue to roll, and whoever is with you is with you.
I don't think so. I mean, the the normalcy that California is going to, quite frankly, is very confusing to me. And I need more information before I like truly know what's going on. And I'm sure that you guys are experiencing the same thing with like masks and vaccines and asking about vaccination status and all that kind of stuff. I want people to do what they feel the most comfortable and secure with doing, ultimately. Because if you're going into something and you have this like hesitation, you're not going to put forth your best effort. That hesitation and anxiety is going to hold you back. If that's going into a group setting because you're not truly comfortable with it yet, then that's not what you need to be doing. If you're going to get more out of doing something online, if you're a lot of people are truly over the online thing, like they could never see a Zoom meeting again and be super happy. Okay, well now it's kind of like a weird limbo that we have both options.
It's
Those,
like Zoom meeting fatigue, right? Where people are just tired of just sitting in front of their laptop and just staring at the screen. And I think there's, in my experience, there's more people who are, what's the word I want to, who are yearning to be able to sit in the same boardroom and
mm,
say, let's do this. Because before all this, anytime you, and you probably went through this, anytime you saw that mini pop up, you're like, do I gotta go? Now you're like, okay, I'm ready to go. Like I can't even, you already know what outfit you're gonna wear the first day you're back in there. Like you're ready to go. And now that we're about halfway through 2021, what's next for I know, right? What's next for Lisa going forward?
oh man. Well, I started writing a book um with my best friend, which we'll see how that what that ends up turning it into. I was going to say we'll see how that goes. That's going super well. We'll see what that transitions into. And a lot of that is going to be about like parenting and motherhood and like finding your community and your tribe as a parent. And then I'm also in talks now about starting a fitness app. So I'll keep you posted on that, which I'm super, super excited about because it's a different formulation than a lot of what the apps have. It's going to be asking, like, doing a daily health screening, seeing how you're feeling, and then like pairing the workout options based off of the results of that screening. So I'm stoked for that. I mean, it's nowhere I thought I would be, and yet I'm super here for all of it.
But that's how it happens, right? Like your dream and everything takes you into different avenues. Like the app, that's a major accomplishment because apps are everywhere now, right? Like
Mhm.
how much time does the average person spend on their phones? How many times you walk by someone you're driving and their face is down in their phone, right? That seems to be where we're going. So that's amazing. Definitely keep me updated because I look
Oh,
forward to seeing how you're going to maneuver that. Is it going to be more of your personality involved, or is it going to be more like me during my Facebook lives, right? Where it's just
no,
serious face, serious tone.
fair, fair. One of the things that as a business owner, I've had a really hard time reconciling is you think as a business owner, you need to have that like serious front. But if you see me train and interact with people on a daily basis, I am the least serious person and I do not take myself seriously at all. Like, I think that's why these girls like to work out with me because I'm like, ah, like I write the workouts and then I complain about what we're doing. Worst fitness instructor ever. I'm like, oh, we're doing renegade rows. I don't want to do this, but we do. And I think I want that to shine through more. And it was me having a lot of those like internal conversations that then come out loud, like when you talk to yourself, which is you're only crazy if you answer yourself, which I do all the time. But it was that like, what keeps people coming back? Why have I been able to retain some of my clients I've retained for almost 10 years? Like they were with me when I started, they're still with me. What is it about how I do what I do that keeps them coming back? They know that the workout's going to be hard. They know they're going to hate me through at least half of it. They know that they're going to be pushed and get challenged, but what keeps them coming back? So I just started asking and gaining insight for what they had to say about it. So I think I want like that personality to shine through.
Well, what do they say about you?
That I am extremely motivating, which is funny because I never remember what I say. This was the like analogy that I gave to a client when she said that, because I was like, I don't know what I say when I train. Like I'm not kidding, I have like a blackout moment. I know what we're gonna do. I write it down. It's my notebook for my workouts look like the Marauders map from Harry Potter. It's like everything is everywhere and everything is moving. And we get into the workout and I literally don't know what happens. And then before I know it, it's over. And I was telling one of them after a particularly hard session when she was saying that to me, that the things that I say when it's coming out of my mouth, what I'm visualizing is me on bed rest in my mom's house, not knowing whether or not I would ever walk again, not knowing what tomorrow would bring, much less 10 years down the line, and what it was going to take for me to get past that. To be able to accept wherever I ended up being. Because I did not, in the like real thick of my injury, I had no idea what my quality of life would be like when I got past that point. So the things that I say to them are, it's me visualizing, I like on that bed with metal coming out of my foot, like a completely atrophied right calf muscle, not being able to get to the bathroom by myself, being wheelchair bound, and it's like me what I would have told myself then, like that out of
Yeah.
body experience. And the one particular client was like, this is stuff that you need to be sharing more. Like people might not be able to relate to the like crisis, not being able to walk, that sort of thing, but they sure can relate to needing that motivation and that positivity, and not like the atta girl, but the like, you can do this, but you have to find it within yourself to be able to do it.
Yeah, but Lisa, that's why they flock to you, right? And we touched on this earlier when we mentioned like the different forms of social media. When you're real, right? And I don't mean real as you're pretending to be someone else. It's just they're
Right.
getting the authentic you. They're getting the person that came from an injury, that didn't know she's going to walk again, to this success stories. And we've heard it all the time that there's one thing to there's two types of people that I find. There's the ones that quote motivational speeches and quotes, and there's the one who motivate from the heart. And that's why you don't remember sometimes what you're saying, because you're speaking from a place of strength and inspiration. And there's some times where I'll say something or I'll hear someone say something, and then you ask them, let's say a couple of days later, they don't remember word for word because it was in that moment what was needed. And then people gravitate to that because they look at it and they're saying, she has this strength, he has this strength. I can pull from them because a couple months ago, I didn't know if my marriage was going to work. I didn't know if I was going to be a good parent. I didn't know if I could forgive my father, my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather. But I heard this story and this
Mhm.
person came back from a physical injury. So I want to use their strength, their
Mhm.
story to elevate me, because not everyone can sit here like you and I share our stories, because having the courage is usually the first step, right?
Yes, you are completely right, because for a long time I didn't talk about my injury. Like I'm very candidly, I probably didn't start really talking about it to clients until about like 3 or 4 years ago. Like really having those honest conversations of like, I had to pull this out of myself. Like I had to do this for myself. And I was very lucky that I had people around me, my family, my doctors, my physical therapists, who were very focused on me and advocating for me so that I could have that space to be able to find that strength and power in myself so I could move forward. And when I started having these, I was like, well, if 2020 is going to leave me in my house, we might as well have some epiphanies out of this. But when I started really having those big internal discussions, it was, if I can find this, then everyone can find this. And everything that I've ever done post-injury has been to help people find this, however they can. I moved into fitness because I quite honestly was sick of the corporate America structure. I loved what I was doing, but I wanted to make more money and work less. Everyone's dream.
Everyone's dream. I'll be there soon because I'm very corporate, right? I'm actually in like a bank. I'm very corporate. I don't know if I told you that before, but I'm like
super corporate. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I understand that.
No,
but you go into the entrepreneurial space and you end up working even more.
Yeah, no one gets that, right? Like when they look at me, they're like, they ask me the question, well, how do you like it? Because they think I'm there, I'm guessing, for money. Because when you start knowing my personality, you wouldn't walk into a bank, right? And go to and ask for the manager and expect someone with this personality. But when I'm there, it's very, how are you doing today? How may I help you? Oh, you have a problem? What is this? How may we resolve it? It's very
professional.
Right? Exactly, because I'm very corporate. So I used to have someone ask me that used to work with me, and they would say, I like you better on your social media and the side of it. And I was like, well, there's this. And then there's the other side. But you're right, because when you're that corporate, it can rub some people the wrong way because there's the confusion. They don't know if they're getting you. Most times you're not. And you want to live the dream of, let me build something like how someone probably built those companies, and it's going to be mine. It's going to kick my ass in the first couple of years, and I'm going to bust my ass in the first couple of years. But it's mine, and eventually I can do it my way. And I think that's what a lot of people are finding. That's why you have so many people not returning to their jobs, because they're thinking, well, in 2020, I was forced to be home, which allowed me to do all these things that I put to the side, right? People took up knitting. They took up sports. They took up fitness. People made babies. People got divorced, but you had all these things happen.
They got divorced.
Exactly. There you go. Right. And you have all these things happening. And it's like, I am realizing my dream. Why should I go back to this when I wasn't really happy and I was working all these hours for someone else?
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. And I think I realized that in 2020 from the standpoint of having the online platform already set with a healthful life, having the online coaching, it set me up to be able to pivot so that I could do the classes and I could continue to serve my community and I could give them that sense of wellness and empowerment and strength and all that, because they wouldn't have had it otherwise. It's really hard when you, and I know you see this too, you go into your social media, Jane Fonda, and then all the videos on the Instagrams, and I haven't really seen too many on TikTok, which is good, but like all the working out videos and stuff, and then you see that and you're like, well, I can't do that, and so I'm not going to do that, and then I'm going to go and sit on my couch and watch Netflix and eat hot Cheetos. That's your Tuesday. But I feel like there's a different way. So I was very fortunate that I had that platform set, that I was ready to go with it. It was not a pivot I anticipated making. I did not ever think I would be teaching classes via Zoom and have people show up all the time.
And here you are.
And here I am.
Exactly. And you're looking to take it to the next level. And you have a dedicated audience.
Hmm.
Like people want to attend this, and once you take it to the next level, as you're continuing to share it, you begin to realize the days of door-to-door marketing are pretty much
Those are.
over for a select group of people. You can do this all online. Like you're gonna have the app, you can position it. You have the Zoom meetings, as you mentioned, it's recorded, so you can ship that out as well. Like,
Mhm.
and we laugh about it, but you could be the Jane Fonda of the 21st century, right? You could start putting it in
You
people's
are not
homes,
ever gonna see
right?
my ass in a leotard, dude.
Oh
Ever.
well, I don't know what you wear to work out. Well, all the girls wear the what's it called? What's that pants called?
Oh, like the Lululemon athleisure
There you
pants.
go. There you go.
I die. Okay. 2 second rant. This is what kills me. People are like, oh my God, I don't have time to work out. You've already taken the transition time out of getting dressed to work out, my friend, because you are in workout pants. Like you are dressed to work out. You look the part. All you really need to do is start moving. That's it.
That's
Because don't
it.
lie to me and tell me, homegirl next to me, that you don't have 75 different pairs of black Lululemon pants. And they're all designated for different things. We all do.
Yeah, it's become the new leather pants. And,
And
right?
they make those athleisure pants that look like fake leather. Have you seen those? I'm like, who's working out and I'm not sweating in that? Wouldn't be able
That's
to
the first thing I think of. Like when I work out in sweatpants, not baggy sweatpants, but
like the
and I look
jog.
at the joggers, right? You know, with the elastic at the bottom by the ankles or whatever. So when I see some of the workout attire online, because I don't ever see that at my gym, which is kind of odd. It must be an American thing. No, I'm joking. But
Probably
um,
is.
when I
Especially
see it
here.
on social media, I ask myself, can you have what's the comfort level? Right. Because I see the tutorials and that seems to be a big thing. It seems to be squat proof. I didn't even know until it was mentioned that you can actually see through these pants. And two, the comfort level. But if these are a thing, at some point they weren't comfortable to be in. That's my guess.
I don't know. I've never had a pair that wasn't comfortable. I have had a Lululemon sales associate try to sell me on a pair of pants that were straight up see through. She was
Really?
like, "Oh, it doesn't matter," and I was like, "It actually does." Like,
Well, it depends on what you want to show, right? Like, you know,
I'm not the kind of girl. And so I'm like, "No, they're see through." She's like, "But the fit is really good." I'm like, "Yeah, they're still see through."
I've been seeing the girls where they tell you how to wear them so it goes in your butt. I saw that as well, and it's and you watch it, and to your point, right? The prep alone to wear these pants, probably what 20 minutes, maybe 15-20 minutes. You can do a decent workout, right? You can do you can do a body exercise in that, but yeah, she did it because she showed the before and after. There's a difference. There is
Really?
a difference, and
Hmm.
but she says you don't pull it up, you pull it in, and then you go up. It was this weird technique, and then I read the comments. The girl's like, "Oh, this has helped me. My husband loves it. My boyfriend." I'm like, "Are we saving marriages and relationships by these pants here?"
But you say stuff like that, and I think of the TikTok that I'll send you after this. That's the girl who got the TikTok workout pants that like exploded, made her dude friend put them on, made her dude friend put on a wig so he looked like her from the back, and then punked her husband. She had the dude acting like he was her. He was just standing there, back profile, couldn't see her face. And then she's like hiding around the corner speaking. So the husband thinks the dude is her, totally went and grabbed his ass. And I freaking died. It was so funny because the husband was like, "What?" See,
He died inside, right? Yeah, definitely send me that.
it was it was the funniest prank. It was so awesome.
Yeah, those
But even
pants
the
have
dude's pants in those pants, in those pants, his
yeah.
ass looked good. That was about it.
Those
Go
are,
for it.
it's the silver ones, right? The TikTok leggings, I think.
Yeah, it's got some weird cut up the seam on the back, and it's
Yeah,
like rouge. Yeah, I
I know
didn't
which
know
one you're
those
talking
were a
about.
thing. Everyone at my work says that those things are amazing. I don't know.
Good for them. Marketing is a great marketing job, I must say.
Yeah, fantastic marketing job. Well, I don't know how to get a hold of those pants. Maybe I'll try it out. I mean, honestly, don't really care though.
Yeah, I don't see you making a video and posting it like that.
No.
You know, with the leg back and the back turns and the arm to the side to slim your waist. I that's how well I know it. Everyone I've seen it all. That's how well I know it. The pose, right? The what's
Yeah,
it called? The booty pose.
the booty pose. Yeah, it's like a hip check. And they do
Yes,
that, and I'm like, oh my God, do you know how bad that is for your back? Like, do you
chiropractors are loving it. If I was a chiropractor,
making bank? Like
yeah,
those hips, like your pelvis? Mm-mm, mm-mm, not good for you. But yeah, they definitely all do it.
yeah.
You're not going to see me doing that.
In the bloopers and the behind the scenes.
The bloopers and the behind the scenes are normally me like yelling at one of the dogs to be quiet, or my daughter's newest thing is sitting eating breakfast watching me work out and then telling me I'm not trying hard enough. She's kind of a savage. I was like, you're gonna be the meanest fitness instructor of all time. I asked her the other day, I go, what does mommy do for a living? And she goes, you make people cry.
Tears of joy or tears
And
of pain?
I was like, that's really mean. And she was like, no, but like in a good way. Okay.
It reminds me of when I used to take cycling class, and that instructor was what are these? It's like the soup Nazi in Seinfeld, right? Like the instructor, it's always some. Well, mine anyways. It was just very muscular woman, right? And she used to tell us to turn the knob like for the resistance higher. She's like, stand up, pedal up. You will die in here. I was like, oh my goodness.
At some point, it's like too aggressive. When they start doing that, I'm like, I can't. No, I'm out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because it's a free class. So it's not like you're losing anything,
That's true.
right?
That's true. No, my newest thing is to tell my clients that they're, because I'm always talking about like longevity in terms of health goals. You know, making sure that you're developing muscles that help support a skeletal structure that will keep you healthy, like healthy back. You know, making sure like the hips and the pelvis are correctly aligned and the spine and blah, blah, blah. And I know that for some of them, that's just like, they don't even care. So I, the other day was like, look it, I know I have all these long-term health goals for you. I don't want to see you need a spinal fusion surgery or need to have a hip replaced or need to have knee surgery or any of those sorts of things. You, however, want to look good naked with the lights on to yourself. Now, you
That's the
can have
best judge. That's the
that's the
best
best.
judge, right?
And they all kind of started laughing, and I was like, no, but seriously, not to anybody else. Because if your partner, spouse, or whoever really loves you, they're not going to give a shit what you look like. You care more. Look good naked with the lights on to yourself.
Yeah, and that reminds me when I was working out and I started to focus more on my lower back and my back more because we all think when we train the core, it's just the abs, but there's a whole other side,
All the way around. From your
right?
shoulders through your hips, all the way around.
Exactly. And I think that's why so many people have mobility issues, especially again, used to be it, and I'm still it. We're so corporate. I sit. So I need to make sure my hips and my lower back are strong. But when we think of core, we just think of abs, but your back is such an important
Mm-hmm.
part of your body.
Oh, yeah. Back strength, postural muscles, and how all that stuff is aligned, how to use all those things correctly. That's part of the reason now why like a big gym environment gives me hives, because I will go in and see people doing things incorrectly to the point where they will get hurt. And it's not going to be the immediate right now injury. It's going to be, the compounding movement over time will lead to an injury. And I'm just like, you can't say anything though. You can't, you don't know them. You don't know them. You need to be quiet. But it like, it makes me cringe. I can see, like, oh, that's all in her back right now and not in the good way. Like,
Yeah.
that's painful.
Yeah. When I
And
see
I think,
deadlifts, I'm like,
oh,
ooh.
ooh.
I'm the same way. When I see it, I tell people, it's more leg and hip than the back, right? But you see some people fully bent over lifting. I was like, not
If
me.
you are doing a deadlift correctly, you should not feel pain in your low back at all. At all. And people don't realize that. And then they end up throwing their back out or pulling a back muscle or whatever. Oh, yeah. Deadlifts are a hard one. But even then, that's where you have to like let your ego go, right? You have to accept where your body is and then push yourself from that point. You can't be looking at how much the person next to you is lifting. You have to take what you can do into account. You have to learn how to exploit your own strength and not homie next to you.
Absolutely.
That,
Ego's at the door.
yeah, that's a hard one though for most people. And it goes, both ways. Like, I'm looking at all the little videos on Instagram of the person who just had baby number 4. She's only 3 weeks postpartum. She has a six pack again, and look at all these hard exercises she's doing. I'll never be that. Or look at this person at the gym and they're deadlifting, I don't know, let's pull out a huge number, 1,000 pounds. I'm going to go and do that. No, like, slow down, take a breath. You can get to that point for sure. Not right now.
Oh
Take a
yeah.
breath. Figure out
Yeah.
where you're
When
at.
when my gym starts opening up, I think everything is gonna be one plate. My deadlift, my bench, I'm probably gonna be curling 20 just because I've been doing boxing, which is really
Right.
good for conditioning. But
Yes.
heavy lifting, I haven't done it since January, February
Of 2020 or 2021?
this year. So it's been
Okay. So kind of 5-ish months.
yeah. So usually um my bench press, my deadlift was over 200, but I'll start with the 45 on each side, warm up, and that'll be it for a little while. But I've always felt that you have to leave the ego at the door. And that applies to even in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't look at someone else and think this person is farther ahead of me in their business, in their workout, in their life, in their career, and think that you have to catch up because you're going at your own pace. Your journey is not their journey. And the only thing that I've taken from it is that all the people I've come across, I've learned something from them because we've all had situations that, oh, I wish someone told me not to do this because I wouldn't have this. But now you and others are saying, or the type of people that would say, this is what I've done. It's worked for me. Maybe you didn't want to do this. And I try to share that knowledge as well.
But I like the perspective because the last time we talked, you were talking about strength gains and how to get those strength gains. And then, I would assume because I know you're dedicated to your fitness, you're moving forward with that. And then you get locked down. And the fact that you are recognizing, I'm going to have to take this back a notch and rebuild a little bit from something that wasn't your fault. That's major. And I would even say before you even start tossing plates onto the barbell, maybe do just the barbell. Look at how you're warming up. Look at your activation so that you can get that. Your muscle memory will turn on fast because you were training so diligently prior to shutting down. That muscle memory is built in, that nuclei is built in. The more you do the exercise, the more muscle memory you're going to have. So you're set up for success already. It's going to be knowing that you're starting at 0 and not 60. So make sure you get that, all that kind of activation, hip opening, get the hinge motion going, get the body weight stuff going, and then start progressing it. And I think if you could do that, you would be back where you were at pre-lockdown super fast.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to join all the girls in a hot girl summer, right?
I was like, that came out and I was like, what in the actual? Oh, I guess we're going to have a summer here this year. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I think everything will open up. Everything. Because we open up June. think same time as you, June 14th, like that week.
That week.
Yeah.
Nice. Beach season. That's all I'm thinking.
Oh, me too. And I want to travel. Well, hopefully this winter, because Canada gets cold, so I want to get out of here somewhere nice and hot.
Fair. Hopefully you will be able to. I know they were doing like travel lockdowns and all that. Hopefully you'll be able to.
I hope so. And on that note, any final words, Lisa, before we close today?
Ooh, I'm going to go back to what we were talking about at the beginning with this transition out of the pandemic because we're all in that to a different degree. Don't let that slow your health down. You know, we're at this really awesome precipice now where we've had over a year of establishing really strong healthy habits. Don't let those go away because life is coming back. Figure out how to incorporate that into your daily routine and schedule and all of that in a way that is realistic for you.